There you go, queen. Hey guys, I'm here with my daughter. I'll put up pictures and I'll have you guys get a closer look at her before the video ends, but she's eating right now, so we don't want to interrupt her. But this is my daughter, Amélie. She's over a month old now. I definitely meant to film this sooner. Per usual, what's new? But we're finally here. Hey guys, today's video is gonna be a birth story. I did this with my son, and honestly, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it with her, but when I look back at my birth story with Noah, there's like so much shit that I forgot. And I don't know, I just wanna have this documented so I can look back on. This is my last baby. That's it. I'm done having kids. It's definitely a bittersweet feeling, but I wanted to put this video out there not only to let you guys know like how the birth went. I know a lot of people have questions like, did I end up having a C-section or did I do a VBAC? And we're gonna get into like literally everything. I asked you guys on Instagram to ask me any questions about my birth or about like the newborn life in general. So I'm not only gonna talk about my birth, I'm gonna talk about like how we've adjusted, how everything's going, answer some of your questions about how everything's going. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm a little hyped up on caffeine. It's how I'm surviving these days, but I'm a little hyped up. So if I talk really fast or I don't know, I just seem a little intense, that's why, my bad. But anyway, let's just get into it. So she was born on November 20th, 2021. I officially have a little Scorpio girl. She was due on the 23rd, I think. So she was supposed to be a Sagittarius, but you know what? Life had other plans and I can't say that I'm disappointed because I am not. I love you Saggies out there, but let me tell you something. There's enough fire in this house. I am a Leo. My son's a Leo. My dog's a Leo. It's just too much. I really wanted her to be a water sign. I know that sounds fucking stupid as hell, but you know what? It's what I wanted. Also, me and my brother Joey have a super close bond. Like people think we're twins most of the time, and he's a Scorpio and I'm a Leo. So now my son is a Leo and she's a Scorpio, and I just feel like I had the reverse of me and him, and I don't know, something about that makes me very happy. But anyway, okay, so she was born on November 20th, and now I'm just gonna get into kind of like what led up to the birth, a little bit before, during, after, the whole thing. My pregnancy with her was so easy. Honestly, I can't complain. Like everything about it was amazing. She barely even like moved. Like she was just chilling in there, not bothering nobody. Like I could tell she was gonna be chill as hell. A little bit before she was born, I had like a regular doctor's appointment, and I guess she had dropped in my stomach because the doctor said that she wanted to do a like growth scan. So they wanted to do an ultrasound where they like estimate how big the baby is to make sure that they're not like restricted in there and that everything's fine or whatever. And when I met with the doctor after the scan, she kind of like really casually told me that she thought that the baby had something called multicystic dysplastic kidney, and she didn't really explain too much to me, but she told me, oh, it's not a big deal. Basically, it means that she's only gonna have one working kidney. And I was like, wait a second, what did you just say? She was like, oh, my stepdaughter has it. It's fine. She just may need more checkups than normal, but honestly, the other kidney will take over and she'll never know the difference. And I was just really taken aback by that because in my anatomy scan, they didn't see anything wrong with her kidney at all. But thankfully, they recommended that I go to see a specialist for a second opinion. So I went a couple days later. I was already like 38 and a half weeks, so I was close to birth anyway. And I was just, it was a lot. Like I was so confused. I was freaking out. And unfortunately, the only office that I could see that was a specialist was the same office where I found out with my last pregnancy that I was having a miscarriage. So it was a little traumatic. I'm not even gonna lie. I did not want to go into that office again, but the doctor was amazing. She was super sweet, and they ended up finding that she does not have that disorder, multicystic dysplastic kidney or whatever. Her kidney was a typical kidney. It's just that like the valves of her kidney looked like cysts to the other ultrasound lady. I don't know, okay, but everything's fine. And obviously we were super relieved. You know, it's not like multicystic dysplastic kidney is anything horrible, but you would only have one working kidney. And also if you get it in both kidneys, yeah, it's really bad, and you would basically be born needing like dialysis. So it was just a little bit of an intense situation, and we were really happy to know that like that's not what she had. So that was like the only drama that happened like right before she was born, and then everything just went smoothly after that. We ended up moving. So a lot of you guys know I moved, and I'm in my new house right now, which is why there's like nothing on the walls because I have not gotten to that yet. But yeah, we moved. I was like 39 weeks pregnant, painting walls and moving shit. It was a lot, but honestly, it was fine. Like she honestly was the chillest pregnancy ever. I would forget I was pregnant sometimes. So we got everything ready as quick as we could. And when you're trying for a VBAC, which is a vaginal birth after cesarean, because I had a C-section with my son, you have to go into labor naturally. They don't induce you. And even if they were to give you like Pitocin, which is like to simulate contractions and get you started, they can't do anything like a typical induction does. So they can't put Cervidil to like soften your cervix. You have to go into labor by yourself. And I felt like I was close to going into labor because I was feeling a lot of contractions, and I just felt more like things were happening than with my son. Like I never really felt things getting started with Noah. And the day before my 39-week checkup, I started bleeding. So I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Here we go. If you don't know, you're watching a birth story, so I'm not even gonna give the TMI disclaimer, okay? You know what you're getting into here. But I thought that I was starting to lose my mucus plug, and that's a good sign that things are progressing. So when I started bleeding, I was excited, and then the next day I had a doctor's appointment, so I was gonna tell her that I was bleeding and also hopefully find out that I was like dilated and everything was moving along. And my doctor's appointment was around 39 weeks and 3 or 4 days, I think. So I was really close to my due date. And when I saw my doctor, she told me, not only are you not bleeding, like I don't see any blood in here, but you're not dilated at all. Nothing is even close to being in labor. And I was like, okay, great. And if you've seen my birth story with my son, I was not in the same place this time around. Like I wasn't desperate to get her out. I wasn't even that uncomfortable. Like obviously at 39 weeks, you're fucking uncomfortable, but I wasn't like how I was with Noah, which was like, get this thing out of me right now or I'm gonna lose it. It's not like I wanted her to get out, but let me explain my mind frame during this appointment and during this time in general. When I decided that I wanted a VBAC, I kind of drew a line in the sand and I said, okay, at my due date is as far as I want to go in this pregnancy. And it's not because I don't want to be pregnant for longer or I'm just uncomfortable or anything. It's because my anxiety will not allow me to. I have and had a severe fear of passing my due date due to the complications that could come with that. When they run out of room in there, there's just a lot more risks and I am not comfortable with those risks. That does not mean that if you pass your due date, anything bad is going to happen to your baby. It's just my anxiety that made me feel like that was gonna happen. And I don't know if it's because I had a miscarriage, before her pregnancy or what. I knew I couldn't do it. Like I did not want to pass my due date. So when I went to my appointment and I was only a few days from my due date and I was not progressed at all, I was just like, what the fuck do I do? So the maximum that my doctor wanted me to go to was 41 weeks. That's like the maximum that they felt safe letting me go to go into labor by myself. And I asked my doctor, I was like, okay, if I reach 41 weeks and I'm still not dilated at all, what happens? And she's like, then you would probably need a C-section. So I'm gonna be honest right now. From the moment she told me I wasn't dilated, I said, I'm getting a C-section. Like it was like just a definite feeling. I was like, I'm not gonna wait 2 more days until my due date to see if I progress. I know I'm not gonna progress because I think things just don't get started down there for me. I don't know. Some people don't. Like some people have issues progressing and I think I'm one of them. And I know that could all happen within like hours, right? So like you could not be dilated in the morning and then you could give birth that night. I know. But honestly, this was like my body's first time laboring because Noah was a C-section. I never labored with him, and your first time around or your body's first time laboring can take a long time. And again, I didn't want to pass my due date. I know I'm getting super fucking confusing here, but anyway, I just didn't want to pass my due date. So I made the decision like by the time I left the office that I wanted to have a C-section. Regardless, my doctor suggested that I go to labor and delivery and just get checked out because of the bleeding thing. She's like, you didn't lose your mucus plug and you're not bleeding at all. So the fact that you did bleed is a little odd to me. And it was odd to me too. Like I was spotting enough that I needed a pad. And then all of a sudden it did stop. But like, where was that blood coming from? Like it did not help my anxiety of passing my due date. I was like, something's wrong. I'm bleeding. Like it was just a lot. So anyway, I went to the hospital. She was perfectly fine. Everything was fine. And I asked for a C-section. I just said, cut me open, doctor, please, right now. I'm happy with my decision. I felt a lot more in control this time. Like with Noah, it was all a whirlwind and I was kind of pressured into a C-section, I want to say. But this time around, it was completely my decision. I felt really prepared for it mentally because I've kind of been preparing myself for either outcome, a VBAC or a C-section, for months. And I just felt really calm in my decision. I felt like I was making the right decision for me and for her. So I decided to do that. And from the time that I got to the hospital to the C-section, it was like 2 hours. So everything happened so quickly. Nasim was so confused. I got home and I was like, so we're going to the hospital and I'm asking for a C-section and we're having her today. And he was just there like, what? Obviously he knew that I wanted to have a VBAC, so he was just confused. It was a weird day. But anyway, we started getting ready to have the C-section. And when This is so fucking bizarre. And of course, this only happens to me. She's got a burp. So queen, you want to say hello? Yeah, I'm going to talk about what an amazing little angel you are. You're the best baby in the world. I'm gonna burp for the people. I didn't bring a trapo, so please do not throw up on me. Oh, did you throw up on me? Oh, you sure did. Right on my hair. Thank you, queen, for that. I don't have a napkin. We'll just brush it off. Delicious. You're the cutest. I can't even be mad. Let's just ignore. I don't know if you can still see it, okay? But let's just pretend that didn't happen. So while they were wheeling me back to the OR, I had to stop really quick in the recovery room to like have Nasim get changed into scrubs. And they were just waiting to like wheel me in. But when we were approaching that room, the lady just looks at me and she's like, "We're here. Don't mind the screaming." And I was like, what? And sure enough, there was this poor fucking woman yelling bloody murder. Like she was just screaming at the top of her lungs in pain. She was like, "Oh my God, it burns, it burns." Like it was fucking bizarre and I was so alarmed. I later found out that she had twins and one of the twins didn't want to come out and it was like a really complicated C-section, and honestly, I hope that lady's doing better. Like it was so scary. But like that being right before my C-section and my C-section having gone so bad with Noah, like I was terrified. I was like, oh God, here we go. But I went into the OR and honestly, the staff at the hospital that I gave birth in was absolutely amazing. Whenever you go into an OR, you get like the shakes, like you literally start shivering. I don't know if that's just me, but I feel like that's a lot of people that experience that. And so I was in there just like, like shaking while they were doing my epidural. And it's kind of scary because like if you move, they can like fuck up your whole back and shit, or your legs or whatever your spine's connected to, everything. I don't know. I got the epidural, everything went well, and they actually put this like plastic bag over my arms. So with my son, when I had my C-section, I remember being so fucking cold and uncomfortable, and my arms and everything just felt just weird. And here they put a plastic bag over my arms that had hot air blowing through it. And it was so comforting. It felt like I was being hugged by like a warm blanket the entire time. This C-section overall was just such a better experience than with Noah. Like I was literally smiling and talking to my husband throughout the whole thing. She was a little bit stuck in there. Like they had to literally like push into my stomach for her to finally come out. But it was easy. Like I didn't feel, although I felt pressure, I didn't feel like I did with Noah, which was like I couldn't breathe and all that crazy shit. Like I honestly was chilling the entire time. I was just talking to Nasim, and he said that he was looking a lot more this time. So when he would look, like he was just alarmed at how intense C-sections are, and they really fucking are. But anyway, she came out, she was screaming like super loud, which is the best sound in the world when you're giving birth. You just want to know that like their lungs are working properly and that they're breathing. Honestly, the most amazing part of this C-section was with Noah, they wheeled him away like immediately and Nasim went with him, and so I was left to be stitched up for like 30 minutes because although a C-section is like 45 minutes to an hour, the majority of it is just spent stitching you up. And so with Noah, I was just left there by myself, and this time they let like the baby be with Nasim, and he was just next to me for like 99% of when I was being stitched up, and at the very end he left the room just so they can like finish, and then I left. It was so much better to like have them next to me. I didn't feel alone. I was talking to them, I was holding her. Like it was so different and so amazing. And as far as recovery goes, night and day difference. My recovery was so much easier. I mean, it's no joke, right? Like C-sections are no joke with recovery, but with Noah, not only was I on Percocet and ibuprofen, they had to give me morphine and Toradol, I think is the name. Like they had to alternate constantly medicines because I could not even get up to go to the bathroom. Like I was in so much pain just sobbing. And with her, I guess I was expecting such bad pain that like I was completely functioning. Everything was fine. I was in pain, but like I never even took a Percocet. I actually ended up leaving the hospital within a little bit over 24 hours because I requested to be discharged because we were fine, and like I wanted to be with my son. I did not want to be in the hospital anymore, and she was fine. So they just did the test that they do. She wasn't like very jaundiced or anything. Noah was a lot more jaundiced than she was. And so we came home, and yeah, everything has been amazing. She is a fucking angel. Everybody that is with her or spends time with her just tells me like she is like the best baby ever. She is the best baby ever. Noah had horrible acid reflux to the point that he would choke, and like one time he passed out. I don't know if I've ever told you guys that, but he had such bad acid reflux when he was her age. And so I don't recall Noah being a newborn with any sort of fondness at all. Like, I just look at that as like a very scary time where we were struggling. And honestly, looking back now, it feels like a blur. I don't remember a lot of it because I was just trying to like survive through it. And this time it's the complete opposite. And it's been such a pleasure. Watching her grow is like really emotional because I'm enjoying her so much. I just look at her. She's so tiny. She's so perfect. She's so sweet. She's so chill. Like, I'm like, don't get bigger. Just stay this little forever. Like, I didn't have that feeling with Noah because we were so scared. We wanted him to get bigger so that he would be like stronger and we wouldn't have to worry that something was going to happen to him. Like, such a difference to not have a child that has acid reflux and colic. And since Noah had it, I figured she was going to have it, but she is honestly just the chillest baby ever. Oh my God. Thank you, Jesus. Because Noah's like crazy. All 4-year-olds are little crackheads, but like he's super into dinosaurs and like yetis and shit, and so he just spends the whole day growling around the house, which is very fun. But she like literally is not bothered by any of it. She's just there like sleeping. He growls, she'll like move a little bit, and that's it. And she's not sleeping through the night yet. Obviously she's still a newborn, but like she slept till 5 a.m. last night. I mean, my boobs were like on fire and needed to be pumped ASAP because we are exclusively pumping, or actually not really. I breastfeed her sometimes. I don't know what it's called, okay, but she's getting breast milk only. So like I didn't expect for her to sleep so much because usually breastfed babies wake up a lot. And I don't know, everything's just been such a pleasure. Like, I don't know if it's because I've done it before or if I just like hyped up in my head that everything was gonna be so difficult. Like I was like, oh, I'm gonna never sleep again. Like having 2 kids, oh my God, I'm gonna be so exhausted and everything's gonna be so difficult. I like hyped it up so horribly in my brain that like everything's great and like not that serious. And it's not like easy, right? Like there's a lot of shit to do with a newborn and especially having 2 kids, but it's like totally fine. Like we're fine. Maybe it's because I'm on antidepressants this time that I feel like things are so easy. Maybe that's why. But even like breastfeeding and pumping has been such a pleasure this time around. I mean, this time I'm like a huge oversupplier. I don't know if it's because I got pregnant right after a miscarriage. Like I'm not sure why I produce so much milk this time. I produced enough for Noah last time, but I struggled a little bit. Like I had to take some supplements and stuff. This time around, no supplements. I pump around 100 ounces a day, which is pretty much as intense as it sounds. I've been able to donate like 1,200 ounces to like local moms so far, which has honestly been such a pleasure and like such an amazing experience meeting these moms and being able to help other children eat. Like it's amazing, honestly. And I'm super grateful. I actually have a lady coming tomorrow to pick up milk. I have people coming in and out to get milk like twice a week. People must think I'm a drug dealer here. I really don't know if it's my antidepressants. I don't know if it's because she's an easier baby. I don't know what it is, but I am enjoying this so much. Even like with Noah, he's being so sweet with her. He loves her so much. Noah has been amazing with her. We were scared because like it could have gone either way. He was an only child that really enjoyed being an only child and like all the attention. He did act up for a little bit after she came to the house for the first time. Like for a couple weeks, he was just acting out for attention in pretty bizarre ways. Luckily, never like aggressive towards her or anything, but he just wanted our attention. So he would do things he knew he wasn't supposed to do in pretty big ways to get our attention. But that's honestly not the case anymore. He's gotten used to it, and he'll like bring her blanket, put her milk in her mouth, her tete, like all that stuff. Like he loves her so much. He'll just smell her and start cracking up. Like he loves her. And yeah, I really don't know what it is, but I'm enjoying every moment of it. I guess there's so much different this time around. You know, we were a lot younger when Noah was born. Me and Nasim, when Noah was born, we're still new to like our marriage and each other. And things just feel so much more confident and more like we just feel sure of ourselves this time around. And that changes your experience big time. I'm honestly on cloud 9 and I love her so much that it hurts my soul. And watching Noah love her literally makes my heart want to burst into a billion pieces. Like there is nothing like that feeling. Oh, and can we talk about the fact that she came out with blonde hair and blue eyes? Hello? I could not believe it. I mean, I have light eyes and Nasim does not have dark eyes. Like he has like hazel eyes. And in both of our families, people have light eyes, like his mom and his brother and all that stuff. But like Noah came out with such dark hair and such dark eyes that I was like, oh, she's gonna come out like dark hair, dark eyes. No, blonde hair, blue eyes. Who knew? But that's pretty much the birth story. I'm gonna answer some of your questions on Instagram now just so I can make sure and not miss anything. Someone said, how's your pelvic floor? Sincerely, my saggy butthole from birth. All right, girl. Well, first of all, very sorry to hear about your asshole. You know, that is unfortunate. I can't lie. I did not have her vaginally. So although I cannot relate to your butthole issues, I have the nastiest looking fucking C-section scar ever. It has like a fat pocket permanently above it and I look like Frankenstein. And my husband tells me, no, you don't. And I say, you're a fucking liar. I am Frankenstein, but in the vagina instead of the forehead. So I wish you and your saggy asshole well, and please wish me and my poofy ass C-section scar well as well. Being a parent is very fun. Is the change to 2 kids as drastic as people say it is? I think it depends on a lot of different things. And one of the main things being like if both parents are at home or if one of them goes out to work. I imagine things would be a lot different. Me and Nasim are both home, and I know for a fact that makes my life a million times easier. So he's basically always with Noah, and I'm always with her. And then in the mornings when I need to sleep, like he'll put her in the carrier and be with both of them, or vice versa. If he needs to sleep, I'll do that. But obviously, if like one parent is working the entire day out in an office and one person is now with 2 kids instead of 1, it's very difficult because even when like Nasim will leave to Publix and I have her in the carrier and stuff, like I'm counting down the minutes. I'm like, bitch, how long does it take to get bread? Like, come home. Did you reuse any baby stuff for baby girl from when Noah was a baby? No, I literally only kept a tiny box of Noah's clothes. They're like souvenir clothes. So like if we went to Disney or somewhere with him, I would save the clothes that we bought there. And that's really the only thing I saved with Noah, which sucks because we had a Duna stroller with Noah and I sold it because I was sure I was not going to have other kids. Or if I did have other kids, it was going to be way down the line. And so I didn't have much to reuse. Queen, you need to burp again. Do you want to say something to the people? Do you want to tell them that you're the best baby in the world? Give it to him. Give it to him, Queen. Let the people know. She has tremendo mullet. She's like bald on the top, and then her hair back here is very long and luscious. And I love that, honestly. I know you got something in the chamber. Oh my God. I always burp when I'm burping her. Does that happen to anyone? Do you get gassy when you... Was that a burp? Oh. Queen? Can you say hi to the people? Because you look so cute in your little outfit. These are your aunts and your uncles. They're the people watching. I know it's just a camera, but they love you very much, even though you never met. Favorite newborn products. I really like the bassinet we have. I think it's the Graco Move to Soothe or something like that. It's a bassinet that like rocks, and I don't sleep with it rocking, but it helps to soothe her. So like I'll be able to put her down and then go do like bottles and stuff while she's falling asleep versus having to rock her to sleep. Honestly, in the middle of the night, it's amazing. It also vibrates. It has music. It has white noise. It's amazing, and it's like $200. I really like it. Also, if you're a pumping mom, I really like my Spectra pump. I feel like it really gets all the milk out, but I do also use like a mom cozy pump for like when I'm driving or I have to pump on the go. I will use that, even though my Spectra doesn't need to be plugged into the wall, but it's a little bit less convenient. I also love the Baby Brezza sterilizer. The best thing about that sterilizer is that it sterilizes and it dries. So it's not like dripping wet when you're done. All of the stuff is completely dry by the time the cycle runs. I love it. It's amazing. Those are, I guess, the things that I use the most often. How was the first week? The first week was pretty brutal, honestly. The first month was pretty brutal. Even though she's amazing and stuff, it was an adjustment of like pumping and always having to clean bottles or always having to wash clothes. For me, I was like sweating a lot, and I'm still sweating a lot. I think it's the hormones. I have to shower like a million times. I feel like I always smell weird because I'm like always fucking dripping sweat. It's awful. Things like that, and just like adjusting into a postpartum phase is intense. Like it's just a very weird thing to get used to. But now that I'm like almost at 2 months postpartum, I'm definitely getting a lot more comfortable with it. The first month was intense, but we're doing better. How does it feel to have 2 kids now? It's honestly super bizarre. Like I'll just look at Nasim and be like, we have 2 children. And when I'm talking about them, I'm like, oh, the kids. And I'm like, what the fuck? It's just weird, but I love it. I honestly love it. Oh, girl, you sucking my arm. Are you still hungry? What did you do with the placenta? I don't know. They took it. They took it far away. I never even saw it. I wasn't going to eat it or anything anyway. I know some people are into that. It's not my thing. So I just let them have it. Probably threw it away in a dumpster somewhere. Some people are asking to see the house. That is going to be my next video. It's going to be the house tour. I just need to find a time to make my entire house look presentable at once. It's usually always one room looks presentable and the rest looks like a fucking bomb exploded. But that will be soon. How did you choose her name? Nasim always wanted to name his daughter Amélie if we had a daughter. And he's kind of always wanted that since he was like a kid. And when Noah was born, we said if he was a girl, we were going to name her Amélie. So it's just been like, you know, years in the making. We never went back and forth on names. Like with Noah, we knew he was a Noah right away, and same with her. I don't know. It is a little annoying. Everyone gets her name wrong. Everyone. Especially here in Georgia, they're like, Emily? And I have to tell them, it's like Amelia, but French. That's how I explain it. But yeah, everybody fucks up her name. Sorry, girl. How do you guys manage your time with 2 children? We just survive through the day, and then when they go to bed, we have like 2 hours to ourselves to do whatever we want, which is usually watch Netflix and drink wine. That's how we do it. We just survive the entire day. Everything's a blur. You mentioned worrying that Noah might feel like he's being replaced. How is he doing? I don't think he feels like he's being replaced at all. He does do things like he'll come up to me when I'm wearing her and he wants to be in the baby carrier, or he'll grab her pacifier. Even though he doesn't want the pacifier, he'll put it in and like grab her blankets and lay in her bassinet, pretending he's a baby. But I think that's all normal, and we do make extra efforts to make sure that he doesn't feel like she's more important than him. Obviously she needs more attention than he needs right now because she needs us for like everything. But usually what we'll do is like if I'm sitting with her, Nassim will play with Noah and like run around with him and just make sure that he, you know, feels loved and feels like he has attention. But again, I think that's easier because we're both at home. I think it would be a lot harder if it was just like one of us. He might have felt a little bit less like he had attention, but honestly, it's been great. I need to show you guys how she's looking at me right now. She's like so tired. Queen? Oh. You're just delicious, Queen. I have so many high hopes for 2022. 2021 was pretty brutal and very, very difficult on me mentally. And although it brought one of the best things in the world, yeah, it brought the best thing in the world to me, it was really difficult. And I just have a lot of high hopes for 2022 and watching her grow up and Noah and her growing together. Oh, you're so sleepy, you can't no more. Anyway, I'm hoping for an amazing year, and I hope you guys have an amazing year. But I'm gonna go put Queen to sleep, and I will see you guys very soon for the house tour. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Now you guys have officially met your little sister or niece or whatever you think she is to you, she is. Thank you guys for always being so supportive and loving towards my family. I can't tell you how much that means to me. I'm just really thankful for all of you. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys very soon. Say bye, Queen. Bye, Queen. You heard that? That was her. She's an early talker. Okay. All right, guys. I love you. See you soon. Bye.